This is what Charles looks like today.
That's what decomposition does. He's a cross-dresser. Got fake boobs, got dresses, got all kinds of stuff. I think Charles come on to you and shit went bad.
I didn't do it.
Who did it?
I can't tell you, but I didn't do it.
This is 45-year-old Kalvin Allison, who was called in for questioning mere hours after a body was found wrapped in a tarp, bound, and abandoned in a wooded area on the 23rd of May, 2019.
We initially observed this white male that is bound with duct tape, and not only on his body, his hands, you could still see that the fingerprints were intact.
On the 23rd of May, the body of 54-year-old Charles Locke was found, a recently divorced, disabled man. On the same day his body was found, detectives concluded only one suspect, Locke's next-door neighbor, Kalvin Allison, as they found several pieces of evidence that linked him to the scene. This includes the same tire tracks on his property and on the scene, matching sheetrock in Allison's garbage and next to the body of Charles Locke, and the same ties used to tie up Locke's body. Even stranger, they found a key to Locke's house and his checkbook in Allison's residence. This was enough for detectives to call Allison in for questioning, but for 2 hours of the interview, Allison kept denying any involvement with the murder, instead describing his seemingly mundane and normal daily routine and his family's relationship with Charles.
Did you at any point see Charles outside or anything like that?
He never comes out except to either like come talk to us or get in the car and leave. That's it.
And on Monday, were you working from 3 to 11?
I've been on, yes.
And what time do you usually nap, you know, I ask? Because like at midnights, I have a weird sleep schedule.
Well, when I get back from the kids, usually my wife's still, I would take them because she's been taking them since I was in the mornings.
Okay.
So I've given her a break.
Okay.
And I would get back in bed and sleep for about an hour or two and get up around 10, 11 o'clock, shower again, maybe eat lunch. Then it's time to start getting ready to be out at Ellison Field, you know, by 3 o'clock.
Yeah, and then
It's a 25-minute drive.
So what time did you think you'd take a nap? And you said take a shower, nap, and all that.
As soon as I get back about 8, I climb in bed and sleep to about 10 or 11.
So you wake up, you say about 10 or 11 o'clock. And do you notice that anything out of the ordinary with him again? Like, do you notice a vehicle there?
Like I said, he never comes outside.
Okay.
Like, he's always in the house, and the only time he come out is either to come talk to us or get in the truck and leave.
However, as time went on, the detectives started pushing Allison for information on why matching kitchen tiles were found at the scene and at his house, and Allison responded the same way each time.
Did your wife tell you?
Yeah, did she
My
tell you
wife
about
told
that?
me,
Yeah.
yes.
So you're aware that
Yes, that's why I came home.
he's deceased, obviously.
Yes.
Yes. His death, obviously, in this situation was foul play. Okay. We see some stuff out here. We had some questions. Like I said, we're walking the property. Maybe you can help us enlighten some of the questions and give us some answers to some stuff out there. We noticed that there's trash that's littered between both properties. Okay, and that's particularly one of the reasons why we thought, we came out there to talk to you a bit. There were some certain items there that we found peculiar, stuff that was unique, and stuff that kind of why we were asking about the trash and everything else.
Yes, sir.
Do you know particularly what we had out there and why? Like I said, we're talking about the twine, we're talking about the drywall and stuff like that. Okay. Do you know anything else Charles might have been more involved in?
He stayed at home all the time. I mean, other than taking cookie, I mean, I don't know what he's doing in them hours, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he'd be gone from, I don't know what time he would leave, because I leave at 6:30, and then he'd get back around 10 or 11, so.
Almost 2 hours in, Kalvin is still incredibly laid back and talkative. However, Kalvin's talkative nature wouldn't work with these detectives, as they became much less casual with him.
We have a few things that I would like to go over, okay?
Yes, sir.
The sheetrock that was on your front of your residence, is there anybody who would have any other access to that?
Anybody come up on the porch, get it from the side of the house. I mean, it's not locked up.
Okay, that's very true. The ties, you've never seen those before.
I'm not sure what I mean, you said twine.
Yeah,
but
twines. I call them ties, Have you never seen those before?
No, I don't use them.
Yeah. I didn't know if there was a particular thing, like I said, I didn't know if there was gardening going on or anything like that.
The only thing we've done is dug that big bush up in our front yard.
Okay. We have some questions of some stuff, and these questions are going to be more related because these investigators have found. Okay. Investigators obviously did a search warrant on both residences. Okay. I would love for you to help me find out why we have some items of Charles's inside your residence.
The detectives continued to push, asking why Locke's checkbook and a key to his residence were also found at Allison's house. Feeling the pressure, Allison's demeanor completely shifted, no longer the talkative person he was at the beginning of the interview. Still, it seemed like Allison had an alibi and an excuse for everything.
We have some keys. We have some other items. Is there any particular reason why?
His spare keys he gave us,
Why did he give you any spare keys?
in case he lost the other ones.
Okay.
When he lost his wallet, I have his checkbook. He used his checks. He gave me that in case he lost his wallet again.
You have any other items of Charles's inside your house?
No, sir.
So, Charles's cards were stolen. Who's this gentleman to you?
That's E-Rail.
Who's he? It's Darrell?
E-Rail.
E-Rail.
He says he lives at your house.
He's just been staying there for a few days.
Real quick, I'm gonna interject for just a second. I'm gonna let him talk or whatever. All right, Calvin, I want you to make one thing very clear to you. All right, we don't pull no punches. We don't bullshit. All right, listen, just hear me out. Okay, we do our homework before we come in here. You don't have no criminal history.
But quickly after, the detectives realized that they needed to become a lot more direct with Allison.
If you go to jail for this murder, okay, there won't be another chance, except on the day of trial, for them to see who and what you are. Because just like he said, he's going through some things that we have found. We go back to the things that we found at the scene. Ask you about your boots, okay? We have your boot print at the scene, okay? We have your car tires at the scene. We have the tarp in the trash can, what it was bought in at your house. The sheetrock that is at the scene, okay? The same UPC code is on your front porch, Chief. You with me?
Yes, sir.
So now is the time. You have children and a family to save face and be a man.
I didn't do anything.
Well, then explain it away. You tell me, all right, you don't say you didn't do anything. You explain to me, how did Kalvin Allison's boot print get there at the scene? Because we have your truck. We're seizing your truck, okay? We are in your house as we speak. We see where he was dragged from the house and back through the yard. You raked your yard in the last couple of days.
The once talkative Allison was no longer so. The detectives could be using the read technique, with one playing a good cop and the other playing a bad cop. One of the detectives continues to yell for answers, while the other approaches it from a more empathetic view of Kalvin's family.
How does your boot print get out there at the scene? How does your tire, your left front tire, because you have 4 different tires on that truck, your left front tire's cupped. Okay, you know what that is, right? Cupped. All right, it's when you ran over the sheetrock, all right, it left the black tire marks on there that matches your tire. Then that brown piece of facing boarding, okay, that you use to repair your shower with, in this photo right here, right there, the board, that's there at the scene also with the same tile on it. Now either you got some shitty fucking luck, okay?
I didn't do it.
Then who did it?
I can't tell you, but
No.
I didn't do it.
You were there.
I wasn't there.
Kalvin.
I've been at work and with...
Kalvin, listen, okay? Remember what he said, okay? This is an opportunity for you to explain and let us help us
This don't
figure
go
out what's
away,
going
brother.
on. This doesn't disappear. And this is the type of thing that, like you said, do you want to go out with your children thinking that you're a monster? Or do you want to go out to say that we owned up and you want to tell us what happened over there?
Well, I didn't do anything, so, I mean, I didn't do it.
Kalvin, understand what we're coming at. This is the chance to win the lottery, buddy. You know what I mean?
In 2023, during an interview, one of the detectives clarified that the shift of tone happened due to him being messaged with updates on the crime scene, like a video of where the crime took place.
As they made their way throughout the house, there was another area that the carpet was saturated in blood, and there appeared to be drag marks that they had also located across the carpet. So when that initial evidence is found, okay, we have the location, where this crime occurred.
Finally, 2 hours into the interview, one of the detectives dropped a theory on what they thought had happened on the day of Locke's murder. A theory that matched up to Locke's secret lifestyle.
As the investigators are going through the house, there was evidence that indicated Mr. Locke might be living an alternative lifestyle and like to dress up as a female.
Allison finally started telling them more. From then on, Allison would use the detective's theory, even using the same words.
I think you're a good person. I think you're a family man, and I think Charles has helped y'all out at some point in time, just as y'all's helped him, all right? But Charles has a little fetish that a lot of people don't know about. You know, you can't miss it, because if you walked in his house, can't miss it. He's a cross-dresser. Got fake boobs, got dresses, got all kind of stuff. I think Charles come on to you.
No.
And shit went bad. If that's the case, I can buy that. And if shit went bad and you got a guy that has homosexual tendencies and you're not a homosexual and he puts his hand on you,
That never happened.
okay, then man, I'm telling you, I'm all ears. I'll take notes. You tell me.
We need to know what happened.
You tell me, how did all the things I just showed you? I've showed you some of my cards.
Initially, Allison would deny this story and continue to deny any involvement with the murder of Charles Locke, instead becoming defensive, changing up his story, and claiming the detectives already knew everything.
That duct tape, that's going to seal the fate, because of the way duct tape is, okay? So you tell me then how all those items I just laid out to you got there 5 feet away from the body. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Sir, I don't know.
I mean, Calvin, like I said, those straps, those ties too. Guess what? 2 of them on the body. Okay, 2 of them on. I mean, we got 2 or 3 on your property. Okay.
Well, you just said they were on his property too. So I mean, I don't know what straps or what ties you're talking about.
Well, I'll show them to you in just a minute.
I mean,
that's the least.
That's the least of it.
That's the
Exactly.
least.
What we want to know is what happened. We need a story, Calvin.
Did somebody borrow your boots?
No.
Okay.
Where did this happen?
Where do you think it happened?
I don't know. You said it was in his house.
What was in his house?
You just said he was drug out of his house.
I said you can see where he was drugged through the yard, and you raked your yard because he was drug out the back. And it looks
Okay,
like
that's what you just said.
right. Did you not rake your yard?
Yes, I told him. I've been cleaning
You
the
never
pool
told
up.
You
him.
never told me you were right
That?
there.
Yes, I did. At the very first, when we asked about when I told you about the pool, and I said, been raking and watering, and the grass isn't growing.
You told me there was a part in the back that doesn't grow, but you never told me you're raking. You said you just moved that thing, moved the the pool over.
Yeah, and I said I've been raking and watering, and I can't get the grass to grow.
Calvin, understand as we sit here, these type of situations get worse and worse, okay?
But the detectives would not stop pushing him for answers, using various tactics like eliciting whatever sympathy Allison might have, and continuing to close the walls tighter and tighter around Calvin's various excuses and alibis.
He has a family, he has sisters, he has kids, okay?
Yes, sir.
You have kids, you have a family.
Yes,
You
sir.
understand if you were put in the same type of situation, how bad it would be and how heartbroken you would be,
Yes, sir.
especially the way he was found.
Yes, sir.
I need to know what happened over there, Calvin.
In this clip, we see another police tactic used where the detectives try to bring up empathy by talking about the killer's family and imagining how he would feel in the situation. In response, Calvin's body language seems to change from casual to now tense and constantly fidgeting.
Well, I don't know, sir. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You just kill people?
I don't kill people. I didn't do it.
Who did it then?
I
You
don't
let somebody
know, sir.
borrow your boots and you let somebody borrow your truck? I'll show you right there. There's your boot print. Right there. Let me see the bottom of your boots. Yeah, that's your boot print right there.
And where's
Right,
this at?
right there. That's at the scene where the body's found.
You want to show him a picture of the body?
Yeah, I'll show him a picture of the
I got
body
it.
right now.
You go, Calvin. This is what Charles looks like today.
That's what decomposition does.
Calvin, would you want your family found like that?
No.
Sister can't even have a funeral for him because he can't have open casket. They can have a funeral but no open casket. Did he make a pass at you?
No, sir.
Calvin, you need to help us understand what happened out there, because I know you know more about it.
Out where? Where are you talking about? You just keep saying the scene.
You don't know?
No.
You don't? Okay. You do know that I don't know what's in your phones yet, but your phones that are in the truck, you know we take those. All right, and we shall download them. Don't matter what you've deleted, we can still pull it.
There's a thing called historical location.
And geolocations.
Okay.
All right.
The detectives continue to push for answers, using another tactic where they show a picture of the victim's dead body. As a response, Kalvin quickly looks away and becomes defensive again. This tactic aims to force the suspect to look at what they've done. Kalvin Allison is the only suspect, and the detectives have no other theories as to who or what could have happened to Charles Locke. But whilst the interview is taking place, other detectives are on the scene trying to find out more about the murder.
A lot of grown-up shrub and bushes around there. We go try to make contact. We couldn't get anybody to come to the door.
Finally, halfway through the interview, Kalvin Allison breaks down and admits he knows more than he's previously confessed to.
Tried to kiss me,
Try to kiss you.
grabbed me, and pushed him down. I don't think he hit his head on the, I don't know what it was. The blood was coming out.
It's okay, Calvin.
No, it's not okay.
Look at me. Calvin. Calvin. Boss, look at me. I need your side of the fence of the story, so he tried to kiss you. So he came on to you. He hit his head. He started bleeding.
Kalvin Allison tries arguing self-defense, which the U.S. law's general rule is for murder to be classed as self-defense. There has to be an apparent threat of unlawful and immediate violence from another.
What day was this, Calvin?
Sunday evening.
This happened when you brought the food over?
Yes, sir.
I don't know why he tried doing that either. Knows you have a wife and kids. Did Charles die instantly?
I'm not sure.
Did you just leave?
Yes, sir. I waited there about 5 minutes. He was twitching. Then I left.
What did you do next?
I didn't do anything for 2 days. I didn't know what to do.
I understand you're scared. You know what I mean? I get it, man. Calvin, you're not by yourself here, okay?
Oh, my life is over.
Calvin, look at me.
And then my kids.
With the confession comes the argument of how much force Kalvin Allison used to kill Charles Locke, who had recently had a stroke, leaving him disabled. However, a counter-argument for that would be during self-defense, the adrenaline would minimize how much one would be logically thinking. An article written for Healthline says that strength is increased during surges of adrenaline due to increased oxygen in your major muscles. Therefore, if it was self-defense, it could result in Allison's shove being a lot stronger than anticipated.
I know you said you didn't know what to do. You're nervous. Obviously you brought the body over there, right? How did you take him over there?
The truck.
Did you use anything to cover him up?
What do you mean covering up?
Like, I know he was wrapped up, but did you have him in like any type of trash can or anything like that, just in the back? What time did you take him down there?
I don't know. It was in the evening.
In the evening? Were your kids gone already at this point?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Calvin. Like I said, it was important you told me that. Yeah. Did Charles ever try coming on to you before?
No, he's always nice to me, but he always put his hand on my shoulder and stuff and talk to me. But
I get it. Did you know he was into that
no,
lifestyle? Where did this happen in the house?
right there in the living room, right around by the couch, right here on towards the doorway, right there by the kitchen.
Okay.
Now that Kalvin supposedly has nothing more to hide, one of the detectives continues to press for answers and Kalvin's full story, but he was clearly still too afraid to tell.
What did he hit his head on, by the way? His house is a mess. That's the thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Where's his dog at?
I don't know where the dog is.
Did you put the dog outside or anything like that?
No.
Was the dog there that night?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't know where the dog's at either.
Following the interrogation, Kalvin Allison didn't just have to face the investigators, but had to have an even more difficult and emotional phone call with his wife, where he'd shock her with his confession.
What is going on, Kalvin?
I did something bad.
Why?
So I took him the food. When I set it down in the kitchen, he made a pass at me and I pushed him and he fell. Hit his head, blood went everywhere, and I panicked.
Why would you not say something? Like, why would it was an accident, Kalvin?
I don't know, Wendy, I panicked.
Kalvin.
I know, I don't know, Wendy. I'm so sorry for what I'm putting you and the kids through.
Why would you, like, I mean, I don't...
I'm so sorry.
What about Tina?
What about Tina?
Be honest, Kalvin.
I didn't have anything to do with Tina. That was all Billy.
How do you know?
It had to be Billy. I didn't have
Okay.
anything to do with it.
Like, why would you, oh my God, Kalvin, like, why would you not have called 911? It was an accident.
That's what I don't know, Wendy. The blood, and he was moaning.
What do you mean he made a pass at you?
He tried to kiss me.
What?
He, I don't know. Can I tell her?
Anything you want to tell her?
He's, plays on the other fence. He's a cross-dresser.
So what are you being charged with right now?
I don't know, Wendy. Probably, I don't know.
Kalvin's tone of voice sounds a lot more casual than someone who's being charged with murder. He fails to be emotional, his tone coming across as more stressed, a classic psychopathic trait stemming from a lack of empathy.
Oh my God, Kalvin. I'm gonna leave the kids down here. I'm gonna go get your dad and I'm gonna come home, okay? Okay?
Listen, I'm so sorry.
I don't understand this. This is crazy, baby. You made such a bad decision. Like, you've done some stupid shit, but this is, like, beyond stupid. I don't understand why you would put us in jeopardy like that. It was an accident.
I don't either.
An emotional Kalvin Allison continues to give excruciating detail about the murder and the events leading up to it, defending himself that he never had any bad intentions and was simply just caught up in the moment.
You swear and affirm everything you told me is the absolute truth, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
So sorry.
I don't doubt for 1 second you aren't, man. Okay? Let me get you some water, okay? And I know this is probably killing you, okay? I just gotta ask you one more thing, okay? And that's it, we'll be finalized. It's important that we know exactly, how this went down. Exactly, to every little fine detail. When you came over there Sunday, he invited you in. You said there's about 10 minutes.
Come in. I had the food. He said, come on in. Go in the door. So I'm gonna set it down in the kitchen. Go around the corner like this to his kitchen, right? Set the food down. And I come around, and he's standing right there and just leans in right at me, real close. And I just put like that.
Did he ever touch you?
He had his hands like this around me, coming at me like this.
Did he already grab you or touch you? Or
No,
was this...
as he got right here is when I pushed him.
So, as he's coming in to kiss you, and he has the hands around you, you said you pushed him with both hands. Was there any punches or anything like that, or just a push?
Just like this, like, get off me.
Did you say anything to him while you did it?
Get off, get off.
He just fell back.
Everything's like this. That.
Are you absolutely sure that Charles was dead?
I don't know. He quit moving.
I meant on the day you came back.
Oh, yeah.
You obviously in our position and what we do for a living here at the sheriff's office, especially in this division, it's very peculiar, as you can admit if you were in my shoes, that he was bound from behind. You know what I mean? Unless you were worried he was a zombie,
That's how I could wrap him up. He was like this. I couldn't get. So I just taped his arms and his legs up to where he'd be small like this, to where I could roll him over.
Did you check for a pulse on Charles?
The smell was there. There was nothing there.
Was there a lot more blood when you came back?
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much. There was just a little bit when I was there.
Now that the detectives have a confession and reason for murder, they start the official process of arresting Kalvin Allison for the murder of Charles Locke and destroying evidence.
Stand on up. Turn around, put your hands behind your back for me. You don't have anything in your pockets, do you?
My wallet.
Is it in your front pocket?
My back right here.
Okay. Did you? He has some gold. Grab it.
Yeah. His wallet?
Yeah.
What do you want out of it?
What card did you use at Walmart? Where'd you pay cash?
Cash.
Okay, here you go. You can have that.
I'm gonna put it back in the pocket. You ain't got anything that's gonna get you in trouble? No knives? I mean, that wouldn't get you in trouble necessarily. We all carry knives, but...
No, I don't have anything.
All right.
Hey, you swear everything you said is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
All right.
During his court proceedings, Kalvin Allison still pleaded not guilty and that it was self-defense.
In Florida, it's called the justifiable use of deadly force and justifiable use of non-deadly force. And it was a theory that the defense obviously went with because they said he tried to kiss him and made a move. And maybe in his mind, he was trying to come up with an excuse of what happened and why it happened. You know, personally, I don't believe him. And just because Sergeant Barnes kind of gave him that story as an out. And there was more evidence that was developed later on, you know, which obviously made the case a lot stronger.
However, Allison's deception might not end there. State Attorney Bill Edenzel said, "The medical examiner testified that the cause of death was blunt force trauma and asphyxiation, which was inconsistent with Allison's version of the events." Finally, on November 19, 2019, almost 6 months after the murder, Kalvin Allison was sentenced to spend the rest of his natural life in prison, and 5 years for tampering with evidence. He was also charged with 3 counts of grand theft, as they found after the interview that he had stolen multiple times from Locke's bank account.
I think he took out $800 one day and then $600 the other 2 days. We may never know what happened. I don't believe it was because he tried to kiss him. I believe there was something more than that.
Whilst in court, Judge Paul Rasmussen commented on the case, labeling it as a cold act committed by the defendant. Charles Locke's brother Bernie Locke and one of his sisters, Katie Locke Harris, also addressed the court and Kalvin Allison in an emotional speech. The sad part here is that he considered you his friend. He was unaware that this friendship would ultimately cost him his life. How sad that you would use someone who trusted you, who had lent you money, and then for you to kill him so horrendously. I hope the image you were shown of my brother during your interrogation will haunt you every single moment for the rest of your miserable life. In 2023, one of Locke's other sisters, Crystal Rickett, did an interview too.
Allison did not just come up with that and say, this is what happened. I felt like the reason Kalvin gave for what happened was really prompted by the information that the detectives were giving him.
With Kalvin Allison charged, and no definitive answers on the murder other than Allison's word and that he was charged, an even wilder theory emerged. This theory speculated that Locke and Allison were in a romantic relationship, and that when Allison brought over food for Locke, which was a lot, that it was a cover. The theory also proposed that Locke had threatened to tell someone about their secret relationship, resulting in his death. A second theory is that Allison killed Locke for his money. The evidence backing this up is that he withdrew money multiple times from Locke's account after he died, but it's unlikely we'll ever find out the truth behind the reasoning for the death of Charles Locke. However, in a surprising twist, Kalvin Allison could turn out to be even more sinister than we thought, because Charles Locke may not be the only victim of Kalvin Allison.
A Pensacola man found guilty of killing his neighbor is also a person of interest in a cold case murder in Oklahoma. Investigators there are working to find out if Kalvin Allison killed a woman in 2014.
42-year-old Tina Gavach was reported missing from the Ardmore area in 2015, but was suspected to have gone missing in 2014. It wasn't unusual for her not to contact anyone for long periods, but after missing holidays and birthdays, her parents reported her missing. Her remains were found buried in a shallow, handmade grave. The police in Oklahoma are still working to connect Allison to her murder. Captain Keith Ingle hoped the arrest of Allison would bring people forward.
Maybe somebody will feel comfortable enough to come forward that might know something or have seen something, but we're too scared to, for fear of retribution or, retaliation, and we'll come forward and give us some information that we need to help close this case and get some closure for the family. You know, that's our main goal.
But as of now, in 2024, Kalvin Allison has not been charged with the murder of Tina Gavach and continues to serve his life sentence for the murder of Charles Locke.